Alright guys, we're going to take a look at the Apex Covert Pro 1-pin sight. Now, 1-pins are an acquired taste. You either like them or they're not really for you, and that's okay. There's not much of an in-between there. So, like if you get a hold of one, if you try it and it turns out that you like it, you're probably going to use a 1-pin for forever. But if you don't like it, then you're probably going to go back to your multi-pin sight. So for all of you out there that like a 1-pin, this one is extremely impressive. It's got everything. I mean, as many fancy features as you can think up and throw on a sight like this, it's got it, and it does it really well. It says it's the most advanced single pin sight. I concur with that. I believe it. I've never seen one that works as good without being too bulky or heavy, and I mean, it's just got everything. So I wanted to bust it open and show you guys an up close look at it and hit some key features about it with you guys, just in case you had any questions on it. Okay. Go ahead and pull out the yardage tape here. Alright, so this sight has a lot going for it. First of all, it is surprisingly not that heavy. It really is. I thought it was going to weigh a lot when I first saw this thing and heard about all it could, all it could do. And I saw these wheels. I was like, wow, that thing's going to weigh 3 pounds. But it doesn't. I mean, it's really light. It is not heavy at all, really. I mean, I gotta stress that. It's kind of surprising, and it's machined aluminum. So, I mean, you feel like you could just drive tacks with it, literally, with the side itself, and not hurt it. I mean, anything outside of like dropping this out of a tree stand or something, it's never going to break. Like, it's good shape. But just overall design and look and style, it looks fantastic. I mean, they really did a good job on that. I mean, the shooter ring, the ghost ring, whatever you like to call it, is good and vivid and bright. That crosshair design on the inside of that. Now, this actually, it can accept a lens. It's sold separately, but you can get a magnifying lens that goes in that. But anyway, let's talk about a little bit of it here real quick. I want to start with this dial. If you notice, they call it the power dot technology, but there's a little dot right there in between the crosshair. And if you'll notice on this top dial, you have 1 through 11 on the adjustments here. So all of those represent a different setting for that light. I'm actually going to turn this off real quick so you can see. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. How cool is that? So, I mean, tons of different choices. Like, and if you keep going, it goes right back to 0 and turns off. So, I mean, you can pick whatever's best for you. If you have a harder time seeing, make it brighter. If you don't, I mean, just depending on the time of day, depending on your eyes, that's really cool. The more possibilities, the better. And they don't do it in such a way where it's a problem. It's just right there. It's easy to mess with. Now this is a right hand or left hand sight, and it's got a really nice level on it, good and clear. You can actually remove it, I mean, however you want to do it, whatever you're comfortable with. But again, more possibilities the better. And this little wheel right here is actually the lock for the dial. This is where you would make your adjustments right here for the yardage, for the elevation anyway. So if you want to, if you look now, like it's locked, I do believe. There we go. I cannot turn this dial. It's on there. So if I want to make an adjustment, I actually have to loosen this up. And even then, it's still a little snug, so you don't have to worry about it getting bumped or anything like that. But you just rotate it as needed. Once you go to actually dial everything in, and that's super smooth. I want to mention that is a very easy to work with dial. The packaging says bracket incorporates dampened end of travel stop, and what that means is when you actually get to the bottom, like the top or bottom of this dial, if you'll notice, there's no click, there's no pop, there's no sounds of like metal bumping into each other inside there. They've quietened it down, and they've got it to where it won't go any farther than right there. It's going to stop in the same spot every time, and it's going to do it quietly. So again, little thing goes a long way. So it just makes life easier for you. It's got plenty of windage and elevation adjustments. I love that power dot stuff, guys. That's super cool. I mean, that really is. That's hard to look at and not sort of fall in love with that feature. So high-end sight, expensive, but you get a lot for it. I mean, that's usually how I justify it. If it's a higher-end sight and it's got a lot of fancy features and it's done right, and those features go a long way to help the life of the shooter, make it easier, then by all means, I can't recommend that kind of thing enough. If it's for you. I mean, not everybody likes that kind of thing or single pin sights, but more bells and whistles on single pins. Honestly, I like them more on a single pin than a multi pin personally, because a single pin's a little tricky. There's more to mess with, and by making it easier with this kind of stuff, it makes the overall experience a little better for me. So having a single pin sight that works this well with all this cool stuff on it is hard to beat in my opinion. And like I said, it looks really good doing it. So this is the Apex Covert Pro 1 pin. Really awesome 1 pin sight.